It's a little slice of paradise that's situated 3.5 hours north of Brisbane on Queensland's Fraser Coast. With a population of 63,000 people, Harvey Bay is renowned as the world's whale-watching capital. It's also well known for its pristine beaches and beautiful coastline, making it a perfect place for year-round aquatic enjoyment. Today, the town plays host to the final round of the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship. The Australia One trophy is up for grabs, and the men and women are set to see the year out in competitive style. Welcome to Harvey Bay and the Offshore Superboat Championship decider of 2015. It's the final round of this year's championship, round 6, and it brings us to Harvey Bay. Hi everyone and welcome to the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship finale on the beautiful blue water here in Harvey Bay in Queensland. Yep, even the parachutists are skydiving their way in because this weekend, Dave Bishop, we've got a championship thriller on our hands.
We certainly have, Matty. It is going to come down to the wire this weekend in beautiful Harvey Bay. The teams, there is nothing in some of the points championships. We got down into the pitch and we had a chat to a few of them about it.
The 2015 Offshore Superboat Championship is very much a case of David versus Goliath. Up to 4 boats could potentially take out the Australia One title, and of those 4 boats, 2 of them are from the Supercat 600 class. Hogsbreath Offshore have led both the 600s and the outright point standings all season long, and only a catastrophic disaster could prevent them from attaining both trophies.
Well, we've had a tough year and we've ended up leading the 600 horsepower outboards and actually leading Oz 1. So it's been a tough race to the end, and it all comes down to this weekend. We just have to finish both races and just accumulate some points and not let anybody get too far ahead today. We're happy where we're sitting, so it's all good.
Team 88 are the only boats that have contested and finished every race of this year's championship. They are in close proximity to cause an upset in both the 600s and the outright standings, and will be pushing hard to pull this feat off.
Championship for us has been based on consistency. From round 1, we set out to finish both races every year, and that's kept us in contention. We've not actually won a race all year, but consistency's got us over the line, and we're there at the end. Mate, it's not happened since about 1997, I think was the last time it's happened, so we're setting records again this year, which is fantastic.
Team 3 and Maritimo come into the final round, not only fighting it out for the Australia One prize, but they will be fighting off potential fatigue as they arrive home from a grueling race schedule that consisted of the World Championship held in Key West in the US and the XCAT World Series in Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Beginning of the month, I was in the US in Key West for the World Championships and ran in Superboat. Weren't that competitive, but we needed to be back over there getting ready for next year's attempt. And then, of course, I run with young Tom Barry-Cotter in XCAT, and we had a rather eventful two weekends in a row there in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But yeah, it's been very busy for us.
Yeah, mathematically we're in the hunt, so we need, I think, another boat though to have some a DNF or something in the points. So it's nothing in our control as far as what we can do. So we just need to go out there and get as well placed as we can, and then pray on our good fortunes that something might happen that could see us champions. But I just want to wish all the teams all the best.
Just about set for the first race of the day as the boats lower into the water here at Harvey Bay. Big shout out to all the people from Harvey Bay Boat Club for making this event happen, and you couldn't ask for better conditions today as Team Navy get ready, plugging all the vital parts in to make these unbelievable machines percolate like they do. Team 88, well, they've had a big year, these guys, here as they get lowered into the water. The conditions are absolutely ideal here today. You couldn't ask for better conditions as everybody just gets ready, taking out into the harbour here. It's a nervous time, but even more nervous if you look at the points. Maritimo leads the Supercat Extreme class here ahead of Yellow Brick Road and 222 Offshore running back there in 3rd position. The Supercat 1000s, Team 3 leading by just 12 points over Global Racing coming into the final round thanks to Hunter Parking and Storage. This year's championship And the Supercat 600s, the Hogsbreath Offshore team, 804 points, just clear of Team 88 and SUV Ram Trucks, who've had a solid season, but those numbers could be a bad luck sign for them, 666. The Australia 1 class, of course, Hogsbreath Cafe Offshore leading that class as well by just 52 points as we enter the final round here this weekend. Well, the pole position shootout absolutely crucial for this one, Dave Bishop. Conditions absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's got a little bit on it here, Matty, today. It is quite windy and a decent chop running. Unfortunately for the Ram Trucks team, they had a bit of an incident running out in the shootout, and we got down and spoke to Con and saw what went on there.
Well, we were actually out there at pole position yesterday, and we were just giving it a bit of a crack, and went round one of the corners, fell into a bit of a hole, put the boat right up on its side, and the first thing to get hit was the engine. Smashed the cowl and filled the engine with water, so we hydraulic the engine. So we're out for today.
Yeah, disappointing there for Con and his team, and a broken conrod as they pulled that engine apart, so quite disappointing for those guys. His daughter, though, however, Tay Salamitis there, had a good run in the Ram Junior entry, as to the Phantom guys in second place, Matty.
She's been very solid this year too. The Phantom guys also very good this weekend out. But Team 88, first place, speed of 113 k's an hour. We caught up with Michael Ethel earlier today on their pole position.
Race 1 set it up for us. We'll see what the other boats are going to do. We won't go out there and try and be world beaters. We'll try and be consistent as always, but if we can win, we'll have a go.
Yeah, look, it's incredibly interesting, isn't it, Matty, that those boys have just been so reliable all year. Now, Maritimo Yellow Brick Road didn't qualify. Unfortunately for them, their crews have been all around the world. Ross Willerton, in fact, has literally been around the world. He raced the World Championships in Key West in the US of A. Then he went to Dubai, and then he headed off over to Abu Dhabi for the XCAT series. Johnny Shan jumped on board Team 3, though, to replace Tom Barry Cotter, who was also in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Steve and John, they managed to take out the pole, so they've done a great job as a fill-in crew. So conditions, they set it pretty similar today, so got the boat set up pretty well and looking to do well today.
There'll be some bleary eyes right through the camps. It's a long flight back from halfway across the world as we get set for race number 1 at one of the most beautiful locations on the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship. So we jump on board with Ross Willerton and Travis Thompson aboard Maritimo. They brought us some great action during the course of 2015. They have the best view. Dave Bishop, we're about to go green.
As we were saying earlier on, Matty, Ross Willerton, he will have some bleary eyes. He's literally been around the world. We got Team 3 on the inside. Then it's the Yellow Brick Road, the Fryer boys in the split of the wedge there in the middle, and Maritimo. The hammers go down. Looks like Maritimo and Yellow Brick Road get a good run at the starter. Team 3, of course, on pole position. They're going to be in P1. Well, they're not going to be in P1. They're going to be in pole 1 down into turn number 1. But, gee, have a look at the speed on the Fryer boys as that beautiful Yellow Brick Road Maritimo hull charges away.
Just the slightest of swells here at the moment as they get underway in race number 1. It's a fairly lengthy course we've gone here at Harvey Bay this weekend. You can see first 2 boats starting to put a stranglehold on the leaders.
Yeah, it's an interesting course, Matty. It's pretty much just a cigar shape or sausage shaped course for these guys. Have a look at Maritimo now. They might be running some tall propellers there. They're a little bit slow off the line, and we saw Yellow Brick Road get a good go at them out of the start. But Team 3's been shut down. Yellow Brick Road now has gone to pole 1, but Maritimo harassing them down the outside. Brendan and Chris Fryer on board Yellow Brick Road now.
Listen to these awesome onboards. Just these corners are a lot sharper than what we've had this year. We've seen lots of over and under passing all the way through 2015. Expect more of that today in race 1.
Yeah, it's interesting too, Matty, and we'll keep an eye on this. The wind is blowing across the course, so both coming up the course and down the course. You're going to see the boats are running in what I call crosswash or sidewash. The waves are coming sideways at the boat, so you'll see them jumping from sponson to sponson. But I tell you what, that Maritimo machine, Ross Willerton there, just pedalling that beautifully at the moment and doing a fantastic job alongside him, Travis Thompson, and the boat looking very settled and very fast, Matty.
They're looking pretty settled behind the wheel too, giving a chance for a bit of a conversation. I jest in this one, you can see the impressive Motec dash above the steering wheel as it just caresses the yellow bollard at the bottom turn. A bit choppier down the end of this course though.
Yeah, this is an interesting corner, and this is first time around for the guys. We saw a little bit of action in the shootout yesterday in this bottom turn, with the boats just getting some really messy water coming from all directions, and the guys really have to be on their game here. Brendan and Chris Fry have done a great job. They've just dropped into the wash there of Maritimo out the front of the pack, and they are in hot pursuit. Team 3 not far behind them either.
Oh, now it starts to get a bit messier. This is Team 3, Steve Jellick and Tom Barry Connor, who flew back in last night. This will keep the jet lag on hold for a bit, one would think.
I tell you what, especially Ross Willen, if he falls asleep at the wheel, you won't blame him here today, will you?
Amazing effort. You think they've flown across the world to be here today, and the buffeting that goes on.
It is an amazing effort. Tommy Barry Cotter, he had a big, there was big damage to their boat over in the XCAT Championship in Dubai, so they've spent a lot of time working on that boat, and he's had a really tough couple of weeks, so doing a great job. This is the 600 horsepower battle going on here at the moment. Oh, and the SUV Ram trucks, look at these boats. It's getting messy here as we focus in on the Phantom, but race leader at the moment is 88 Offshore.
The Ethel boys, Michael and Griff, who lead us in this class anyway, and they're going to feel the waves a lot more than the bigger class, the Supercat Extremes. Look at Hawksbreath just winding up.
Yeah, Hawksbreath boys, they had issues yesterday in the shootout as well. They couldn't get a gear as they left the marina, so this is a little bit of a suck and see for these guys. Jimmy Harris and Paul Folds, of course, you can see them on the far outside there, so they're just working their way into the course because it's the first time they've been out here this weekend.
The Phantom boys doing the right thing here and staying out of the wash. They're creating their own little part of the track at the moment, but getting buffeted around. Aboard boat number 5 now, chasing down the rest of the Supercat 600 class. Oh, big moment then.
Yeah, Mick Walker and Paul Gibbs, both these guys incredibly experienced campaigners. It's a little 25-foot shifty catamaran. It's running a pair of 200 horsepower, 3-litre Mercury Optimaxes on the transom of that boat. It's a super quick little bit of gear, and I tell you what, at the moment, you can throw a blanket over this 600 category. It is going off out there in Harvey Bay at the moment.
How about Ram Trucks Jr.? Been very impressed with Taylor Salamitis this year. She's really stepped up. We jump on board with Ram Trucks Jr. Plenty of steering wheel grab down at the bottom turn. Oh, she overcorrects it. Oh, that was a big moment then.
That was tight, Matty, and I tell you what, they are working overtime. Big Ian Harris did well to just catch that one, just came off the throttles a little bit, gathered the boat back together again, and you can see how busy Dave Salamitis nearly punched the roof then for a moment.
Crazy stuff. Of course, Ian Harris doing the co-driver duties here. The main truck, SUV Ram Trucks, not in the race this weekend after damage to the engine during qualifying. So it's just down to Ram Trucks Jr.
Yeah, and they've had some reliability issues in this boat. Unfortunately for the guys, it's just running some older engines on this Ram Trucks Junior boat, and they have had some reliability issues. But I tell you what, right now, you wouldn't know it. Let's hope they can bring the boat home, and let's hope Tay can knock off her old man who's not out there at the moment.
Bragging rights for the family, you think?
Oh, I think so. I think it's going to be either really quiet or really loud at the dinner table tonight. Have a look at Mick Walker and Paul Gibbs. They've found a nice little run. Sometimes you just get a nice little trough of smooth water. You can get the hammers down, and look at the ground they just made up on both Ram Trucks Jr., Hawksbreath, and they're all making ground on the Ethel boys there in Team 88 Racing. This is an enthralling battle in 600 at the moment.
You can see the wash of the boat ahead here too as they look for the best line to use at the corner down here. Now Hawksbreath just settles down because this racing line has become really sharp all of a sudden.
It has, mate, and I think that's probably Maritimo's wash that we can see them in. Maritimo putting a lap on these guys already. We go on board now with Jimmy Harris and Paul Folds. This is a 28-foot blade catamaran. It runs a pair of 3.2-litre Mercury Stroker Optimaxes, 300 horsepower per side, and this boat is challenging for the Oz 1 category, Matty. Now, the Oz 1 category is the overall category out of all boats, and a 600 boat has not won the Oz 1 trophy since 1997. If these guys can do it, they'll be the first ones in a very long time.
It's a long time ago, pushing 18 years. That's Maritimo.
Good maths.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And Yellow Brick Road rounding them up now. So we got the wash here of Maritimo that we can see they've gone by. The Fryer boys running in second spot in the Supercat Extreme category, just rounding up these 600 boats. But the real battle going on in 600 at the moment, with Hawksbreath and 88 Offshore just absolutely gunnel to gunnel down the front chute.
Nice to see a good turnout of people here today who've parked their boats out in some of the prime position. I'm sure the Harvey Harvey Bay Boat Club are very happy with what they're seeing here today. It's a beautiful part of the world to come for holidays, and why not come and check out the boats next year?
I tell you what, mate, did you inhale that steak you had there last night?
It was incredible.
It didn't last about 3 seconds. How good was that? Brendan and Chris Fryer now on board Yellow Brick Road. This is a Maritimo hull with a pair of 850 horsepower big block Maritimo Chevrolet base, Mercury base race engines in it. And I tell you what, they've got some trim into that boat. Just look at the horizon and you can see the pickle forks of the sponsons just going above the horizon quite often. You can also see the engines banging the limiters as those lights come on. So Brendan and Chris, absolutely no holds barred at the moment in the Yellow Brick Road.
The throttle man's got a hard job. Those orange lights flash. That's a point for him to just ease back on the throttle so you don't start hurting these very expensive engines.
Yeah, they've just become so reliable now, this team, and they've really got their act together. I think when they first hit the scene a few years ago, Brendan and Chris, I call them the young guns, but they were also pretty loose cannons at the time as the boat just goes right up onto its starboard sponson there. But they have really settled down. They're really working together, and I've spoken to them quite a few times over the season, and they are really working hard at trying to develop the teamwork in this boat and try and be as smooth and fast as possible. I tell you what, it's paying off for them right now as we go on board with the FL boys.
Boat either side, if you look out each window. Aboard Team 88. This is still the Honours for Supercat 600 class.
This is a fantastic little boat, Matty. This is beautifully prepared. I mean, even down to those beautiful Dana Marine fittings on the dash there. You can see them glistening in the sun with the purple anodising. The whole boat is like that. It's beautifully prepared by Griff. He does an awesome job, and they're having great tussle at the moment.
So a bit of a three-boat battle here at the moment. Phantom is just ahead of this group, so 88 and Hog's Breath battling it out for the minor positions here in the Supercat 600 class. This is race one of the final round of the Australian Offshore Superboat Championships here from Harvey Bay this weekend.
Yeah, definitely a great battle going on here, and this is the long and the short of it as well. We've got a 28-foot blade on the outside there with the big 3.2-litre engines on the back. On the inside, it's a little 25-foot shifty catamaran with a little 2.5-litre Mercury racing engines. But I tell you what, at the moment, the Ethel boys are doing a fantastic job in these quite sloppy conditions to hold off the big boat, Jimmy Harris and Paul Foltz. Jimmy and Paul will be just thinking about that Oz 1. They've virtually got the 600 horsepower category in the bag for the season. They just want to get home at the moment.
It's about getting the bag. These guys are clearing out Maritimo, Ross Willerton and Travis Thompson. It looks like they're cruising here, but I can assure you they are really working hard here.
I tell you what, Ross Willerton is probably hasn't spent a weekend without a helmet on his head in the last 6 weeks. So it's just been an amazing effort by him, and I spoke to him early this morning and he's ready to go, and they didn't have the best time either in the XCAT Series or the World Championships over there in Florida, so he wants to try and make amends for that here in Australia in the big number 11 Maritimo.
That gives you an idea. That's the Supercat 600s in the background of that shot. And Maritimo, this thing is just on rails if there was rails in water. Well, we're going to go to a break though. We're halfway through race one. Come back and join us for the conclusion here in Harvey Bay. Maritimo continues to lead as we welcome you back to round 6 of the Australian Offshore Superboat Championships here from Harvey Bay in Queensland. This is the battle though for Supercat 600, and Dave Bishop is well and truly on as they go a lap down.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely gunnel to gunnel. Mick Walker and Paul Gibbs here in the Phantom, and then Jimmy Harris and Paul Foltz on the outside of those. And all these guys have raced together at some point throughout the championship over the years as well, so they all know each other very well. But the big Maritimo, Travis Thompson with the big boy band haircut that he's got going on at the moment, just comes around the outside, and they are on it hard and fast. Maritimo up and about this afternoon.
You can just see the difference between the two classes and on how quick Maritimo went past the Supercat 600s, and he is gone.
He is Gonski, all right. Make no mistake about that. The Hog's Breath machine is just, well, about 4 or 5 boat lengths in front of the Phantom at the moment. But this battle is just absolutely going on, Matty, at the moment.
They've gone a lap down now in this one, but Maritimo continues to lead. It's out to around 20 seconds between Maritimo and Yellow Brick Road. That's further up the road, or water in this case. And I can't tell you who's going to win this one in Supercat 600s because he's still got Phantom and Team 88 on the outside here still.
This is really enthralling because the two little boats there are both the 25-footers. They're very, very similar hulls. They're almost identical with different powers. The Fry boys just round up round the outside of them, just getting it done as well. that's a graphic illustration of the two categories that we've got racing out there at the moment, isn't it? You've got probably about 1,800 horsepower going past a couple of 600 horsepower boats there. But the interesting thing with the Ethel boys and also the Phantom boat, there is really nothing. Oh, what's going on here? Ram Trucks is pulling up, Matty.
I just saw Taylor look over to Ian Harris to go, don't think we've got the right conditions here right now. And Ram Trucks Jr. is coming to a standstill. What a shame.
It's disappointing. They have had some drama with that boat all throughout the year, and we were sort of hoping that this one will be the one where they bring it home with an absolute flurry, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Tell you what, the old powerboat racing, Matty, it is a cruel mistress sometimes, my friend.
Now, for those watching the first time, what is it like for the Supercat 600 boats? How do they know when they're about to be put a lap down? Is there communication?
Yeah, absolutely. They can. They'll be talking to their crew and they'll know what's going on. And they've got mirrors on the boats. You can't see a lot out of the mirrors because it's basically just a lot of spray. But you will pick up things in the corners, and you're always talking as well. Quite often, either the throttle man or the pilot will look over his shoulder in a corner and just see who's where. Look, they're very switched on. They know who's out there. Maritimo's already gone past you. You know Yellow Brick Road's in hot pursuit, so you know that they're going to be coming soon. But yeah, certainly they're talking to their crew as well.
Oh, they've wound the wick up now too, haven't they? Look, just caressing the waves here. They're heading down the back straight here. A bit more speed than what we've seen at some of the rounds this time around, though.
Yeah, the conditions are pretty suitable, aren't they? And with that crosswash, it's not like they're punching into the waves or leaping off the backs of the waves. They're actually just doing this. It sort of looks a little bit messy and a little bit ugly as they sort of walk from side to side over this crosswash. But the big thing is they're not taking any big punches, any big hits. It's more a fly. This is probably the messiest corner that the Fry boys are coming into now. And you watch the boat jump around a bit because it's just inconsistent water and they have to work really well as a team. Throttle man and driver just working together to try and keep the boat neutrally trimmed, the power on, turn it in, get it out of the corner and back onto the power again. But they'll fire away down the front straight again. Still in hot pursuit of Maritimo. They just don't seem to have the power to do it at the moment.
And for mine, I think they're the only guys that are really making it a left-hander, a really sharp two left-handers that they have down there. Washes off a lot of speed, but does settle the boat down.
Yeah, they tip it in, but this is the absolute battle. And, well, look at that, Hog's Breath. What's that, around about 2 or 3 boat links, I guess. We're on board with Team 88, Michael and Griff Ethel. And, well, there's really nothing in this. And if they can sneak up the inside, and looks like they're running right on the wash there of the Hog's Breath, can they get the boat turned in and sneak up the inside? I tell you what, Jimmy Harris and Paul Foltz, they're pretty cunning campaigners, and they won't let too many people sneak up the inside of them, I wouldn't have thought.
It's been a fascinating battle all race long between Hog's Breath Offshore and Team 88. Chuck in the Phantom into the mix as well. Really have been turned on the action today. It's race 1 as we enter the closing stages.
Great to have Paul Gibbs back on the water. We saw him make a little cameo appearance in one of the big boats 2 rounds ago, but now he's back into the boats. And he was actually responsible pretty much for the design and build of this particular hull design. Both these boats are 25-foot shifty catamarans, and Gibbsy, as I said, the man that pretty much developed them and built them. So he knows everything there is to know about that little Phantom boat because he built it, and they are pushing hard, and they're running on pole. It's interesting. They've got bigger power. Look how beautifully that purple boat, Mickey Walker there, just jumping it and flying very flat and level. It's going very, very nicely indeed.
They are neck and neck, and this is the battle for second and third in Supercat 600. And I think the Phantom's just broken the back of this battle now.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But, here you go, Team 3 just splitting the wedge here and just sliding up the inside, going, get out of the way, boys, we've got a mission, we're on it.
Excuse me, fellas.
Tommy, Barry, Cotter and Steve Jellick, of course. So, Maritimo, we're tracking with them at the moment. And just have a look at the speed difference here, Matt.
The Crane Logistics replay shows how quick Maritimo is. So he rounds up the top 3 in Supercat 600s like they're sitting still.
So and they don't give them any quarters either. They just turn in and, how many boat links do you reckon are there? I don't reckon there was 3, just quietly. But anyway, we'll leave that one to the judges.
Exactly.
But, well, you're talking probably 120 to 130 mile an hour out of Maritimo, and you're talking maybe 90 mile an hour out of the other 3 boats. So that's the difference there. And you're talking, nearly 1,000 horsepower, over 1,000 horsepower difference.
It's incredible. And they make it look so easy. It's a couple of laps down now in the field. That's a great shot, shows a good perspective of this course here in Harvey Bay. Conditions have settled down a little bit more. They were fairly choppy in the first couple of laps.
Just looking in the distance here, Matty, the boat on the outside, which I think is the Ethel boys, just did literally a zigzag, a right-hand turn, and jumped into Maritimo's wash. They're trying to get a tow from the big boat. They're trying to get into the smooth water, the wash left from the big boat, and try and get a run at the other two boats in Hog's Breath and, of course, Phantom. So it's an interesting tactic there for them.
A water version of a slipstream.
Absolutely, that's exactly what they're doing. Just trying to, the big boat smashes down the waves from them, they jump in behind. Of course, the big boat's going to drive away from them, but as you can see, the wash of the boat hangs around for a while, and they're just trying to get a smoother run at it. So the FL boys using a little bit of cunning and experience and just trying to do everything that they can to try and get ahead. But at the moment, it looks like they've actually dropped back a little bit to me.
Might be low on numbers for the final round here, but certainly the quality is up there in this final round of the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship for 2015. To jump back on board with Hog's Breath Offshore, Jimmy Harris and Paul Folds.
Yeah, I tell you what, these guys, they would be so nervous and so tense at the moment. Yes, they're out in front. Yes, they've been out in front most of the season, but they've got that Oz 1 trophy that they're now thinking about. They've probably even forgotten about the 600 horsepower category because they've pretty much got that in the bag. This Oz 1 would mean so much to this small crew, you know, with the small boat, to go and beat the big boats and be so reliable and pick up that Oz 1 trophy. They'll be so excited if they can get there.
You'd think the throttle man has an easier job than the driver. I think the throttle man's got a tougher job at times. The conditions are a bit more on his side today, though.
Boat not really coming out of the water a whole lot, and that's because what we spoke about earlier on, the crosswash. The boats are just sort of walking across it. They're not pounding into it and taking hits, so they can just get maximum pace out of the boats now. You also see there too, Matty, see the rooster tail on Maritimo. That's acceleration. So when they accelerate out of the corner, they trim the boat up. So they pull the drives up out of the water and they go for it. Checkered flag here now coming through, and it is going to be checkered flag. Maritimo takes a win, Matty.
Another one to the boards this year for Maritimo. They've done it by the country mile here at Harvey Bay. Yellow Brick Road are going to come across for second, a long way back, ahead of Team 3 that will finish in third. The boys have jetted in overnight from Abu Dhabi to be here for the final round this weekend.
It's been a real developmental year for those guys, but I think they've come out the other end of this season a much stronger team than they went in. Team 3, well, Tom Barry Cotter, he's had a huge couple of weeks as well, hasn't he? And of course, my man Stevie Jellick in the Team 3 machine. But I tell you what, 600 horsepower is looking good for Hog's Breath. They take the win, and they're one step closer to that Oz 1 trophy. They've got one race to go yet, Matty.
They really broke away in the end. It got out to nearly 11 seconds, and they're both happy. It'll be curly fries tonight down at Hog's Breath Cafe for these boys.
Oh, I love the curly fries, especially with a bit of that barbecue sauce. Stop it. But look at Foldsy. He is clapping. He is ecstatic. They know they're getting the job done. Now the FL boys, as they cross the line as well in 88 offshore, and a great effort from them. I tell you what, another interesting bit of information. Well, actually, we'll go to the points right now, Matty.
So Supercat Extreme race number 1 here, Maritimo. As I said, nearly 40 seconds was the margin ahead of Yellow Brick Road. And Team 3, Supercat 600, went to Hog's Breath Offshore, just 11 seconds clear of Phantom. And Team 88, unfortunately for Ram Trucks Junior, they retired early.
Very comforting to get race 1 under our belt. Fries were out there. We had to keep them in our sights, but the boat's running well. Travi and me are going well in the cockpit. So if it runs like that in race 2, I'll be pretty happy.
We thought we had them on that first corner, but they snuck around the outside, and yeah, pretty treacherous that first corner for the first time through it. But no, we still come out safe, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, Phantom shot out of there, and 88 took off, and we thought, okay, just remember the big picture, and we took it easy, and you know, some rough areas on the course in that first race there, and they came back to us, and we managed to get the win.
And our boat's a bit shorter than Hog's Breath boat, but it's which limits you when it's rough. But anyway, we thought we'd push out and go as hard as we could and see if they can keep up. Thought if they're going to pass us, well, make them work.
Going really, really well, and then it looks like we've popped the drive shaft in the gearbox of the boat, so it stopped us pretty quick, so it was all over. I'm very doubtful whether we're going to get it repaired. We don't have a spare drive shaft or gearbox, so we'll be out for the second race.
That's a tough break for Ram Trucks Junior of Taylor Salamitis and Ian Harris. Well, we're off to a break. The final race of 2015 comes to us right after this. The city of Hervey Bay once again is host destination for the final round of the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship. With an extremely popular aquatic lifestyle across the region, Fraser Coast Council and the city itself continue to embrace the Offshore Superboat Championship and its competitors with open arms.
This is a weekend that we've been waiting for some time. This is the sixth time that we've been running the Superboat Championships here in Hervey Bay. It's a great opportunity to welcome these drivers and these teams to what we think is our part of paradise. And having the sixth leg of the Superboat Challenge being conducted here in Hervey Bay, it's a really great day. And look, we were in for some fantastic racing. We've got thousands of people already lining the foreshore. Every vantage point has been taken. Lots of accommodation places are reporting the full house sign. Clubs, hotels and cafes have done some roaring trade. It's great to have these teams and this organisation here again this year on the Fraser Coast.
Given the popular and competitive nature of the offshore superboats, Fraser Coast Council is eagerly anticipating a strong crowd attendance across the two races held today, and that has the Lord Mayor himself quite excited.
From a Fraser Coast perspective, we've been working hard to become the regional capital for events, and I think an event like this, like the Superboats, and having this challenge and this race and championship conducted here, it's not only a great boost to the sport, but it's a great boost for the whole region.
We really have enjoyed our time up here in Harvey Bay. Big shout out to the Harvey Bay Boat Club and the Fraser Coast Council for making this event work this weekend. Looking forward to being back in 2016 as we get set, Dave Bishop, for the final race of 2015.
Well, this is it. I tell you what, it has been a year of attrition, hasn't it, Matty? We have seen crashes, rollovers, broken boats, broken people. We've seen all sorts going on, broken gear, and it's all come down to this. We've lost a few boats along the way as well. This is a survival of the fittest. This is the last round of the year. 12 races, 6 pole position shootouts. And I'll tell you what, here's an interesting piece of information as well, Matty. If the FL boys can finish this race, they'll be the only boat to have completed all 12 races and all 6 pole position shootouts.
And that's a massive feat by any stretch as we get underway. And the final one for 2015, we jump on board with Steve Jellick and Tom Barry-Cotter. They finished third in race 1, but these guys, Maritimo, are going to be hard to beat, but they're getting challenged already very early days in race 2.
The hammers go down, and we look at Brendan and Chris Fryer there, and that is Brendan on the throttles there, Chris on the steering, and they are copping an absolute lacking as you do in offshore racing.
And there's no give in those seats. It looks like you're sitting on a truck driver's seat, but they are rock hard, those seats.
Yeah, some of them do actually have suspension seats in them. I'm not sure. I know the Team 3 boat does. I'm not too sure about the others, but I don't know. You wouldn't want to get double bounced in your suspension seat either, though, would you?
We'd love to be able to bring that to the television coverage, the buffeting that goes on.
Oh, these guys get out and they're very, very sore. You know, they cop it right through their neck. Obviously, they're in the racing harness here that holds them in. And these boats are very safe as well, we've got to say. I mean, very, very strong canopies. And, gone are the days of people getting injured and killed in offshore boats like in the 80s. They were just killing them off like there was no tomorrow. These days, very safe. You can see the big roll cage there between the Fryer boys. Harnesses, air supply. These guys are wearing neck restraints as well. And they've got, everything on board to make these boats safe. Hatches at their feet, so if the boat goes upside down, they can get themselves out through the bottom as well. So, the boats are very safe. They're also very fast and very wild.
Which we've seen this year too, some of those graphic onboards we saw with boats rowing upside down and the cabins filling with water, but the driver and throttle man are gone well and truly in time.
Yeah, 100%. You can actually see the escape hatch there in the Maritimo boat, just a big orange hatch there at their feet as they go round. But I tell you what, it'd be pretty eerie. Nice big jump there for Maritimo, Jamie Thompson and Ross Wilton. This is Roscoe's last race of the year. As we've said a few times, he has been around the world and back again. He's made it here, and this is the last chance to dance for 2015. Roscoe Wilton, you are a legend, and he is up and about. They're in front, Maritimo number 11.
Seriously, that was mid-corner, and the thing was 6 foot off the water. It was fantastic.
Great racing. These two guys have just done an awesome job as well. Stevie Jellick, Tom Barry-Cotter, they are superstars. They've battled this little, and let's not forget, this is a 1,000 horsepower category boat that has stepped up into the Supercat Extreme category. This boat only has a pair of 525 horsepower Mercruiser racing engines in it, as opposed to the 800 and 900 horsepower jobs in the Yellow Brick Road and the Maritimo. So Team 3 doing a fantastic effort, just stepping up that class and really making it work for them, and they've given the big boys some hurry up all year.
Great support too from Team Navy. They've been on board for a couple of seasons now. Look at them working the throttle now, so conditions a lot more choppy than what we saw in race number 1 today.
and you can actually see the suspension seats moving in that graphic as well, Matty. So these boys just working the boat overtime. I'll tell you what, the wind has come up this afternoon too. It's also really humid. 35 odd degrees and high humidity here today. Not good for engines, so let's hope everybody can keep an engine together today. As we know, nobody likes hot, dense air.
No, certainly from our commentary position too, it's quite humid. Looking out over this beautiful Harvey Bay course. We're on board with Hog's Breath Offshore as they battle it out now for Supercat 600 honours. They won the first race today, now challenging Team 88.
Yeah, this is an enthralling battle, isn't it? In fact, up on this side. Now, Jimmy Harris and Paul Foltz, they need to get this boat home to try and lock down that Oz 1 trophy. And you can see big Jimmy Harris, he's looking out the side, he's trying to keep a nice distance there from the Ethel boys in the 88 offshore racing. So they're really working hard, and you can see the wind chop coming in. It's blowing onshore here onto us, Matty, and it's certainly starting to make it stand up a little bit. 88 and Hog's Breath having a terrific battle. I think Hog's Breath are going to have the waterline link to get the job done here, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Amazing scenes we just saw then from this boat of Jimmy Harris and Paul Foltz. They're second at the moment. The Phantom continues to lead Supercat 600. As they head past the spectator boat. Wish we set our commentary box up on that one today. We got really dudded here with this cart table we've got on the sand.
Yeah, 100% right, mate. Someone turn the air conditioning on in this commentary box, will you? It's pretty warm. Team 3 up and about and pushing hard, and as we've said, the one thing about this boat is just sheer reliability. It's shorter, it's got less horsepower than the other two boats, but those beautiful Mercury products, the 525 Mercruisers, just absolutely bulletproof. And you can see Stevie Jellick, hand on the throttles, Tom Barry Cotter doing the steering duties there. Tom's come back from the XCAT World Championships. He's a bit dazed and confused as well, not even quite sure what country he's in at the moment. They hit the limiters as the boat comes up out of the water.
Yes.
Jumping and landing beautifully, isn't it, Matty?
They should change the name from Team 3 to Team Jet Setter. These guys.
It just, when it jumps though, look at it, they've got it so beautifully balanced, and it just comes out of the water, runs level and just drives back into the water, and that's what you want out of an offshore powerboat. 88 offshore, just still holding off the Hog's Breath. They've got their work cut out for them. Tell you what, the little Phantom, Gibbsy and Walker, they're just doing the job in 600 horsepower at the moment. It'll be amazing if they can pull this one off in the small boat.
That shot just showed it looked like they were cruising a little bit, but they were mid-corner.
A bit of concentration on the faces, I think, Matty. They're certainly, now a few big hits. You can see they're in the wash of another boat. I think that's probably the Yellow Brick Road that we can see, just the rooster tail in front. So, and another one there. So they dropped outside the wash. They're trying every tactic they can think of at the moment. Tom Barry Cotter and Steve Jellick in the Team 3 machine to just try and get round this Yellow Brick Road machine. But at the end of the day, Yellow Brick Road probably got a little bit more horsepower and a little bit more acceleration. But they round up the 600 boats. Bit of traffic coming into play as well.
He goes past the Supercat 600s. There's the leader in the background, the shot. That's Phantom, the purple boat. That's probably got a couple of boat lengths lead here. And using the real inside line here. Back on board with Jim Harris and Paul Foltz, Hog's Breath Offshore.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? The different lines that everybody's trying to use, and they're all running tactics. They're all trying to just work out the best way around this course and the quickest way around this course. The Phantom on the far inside, they're thinking that maybe they can get a little bit of smoother water. You see Hog's Breath, they've dropped into Team 3's wash, trying to get that tow from them. And then the Ethel boys, who are actually back out in front now, Matty. So what an incredible battle in 600. It's been like this all year.
It's been great. I still like the idea of Hog's Breath here. I reckon they got the better line.
Yeah, well, what happens too, you're probably right, Matty, because if you run that wide line, the boat doesn't come off the plane as much when you turn it in, and you maintain that momentum through the corners. So the boat keeps going, you can keep the boat speed up and exit the corner quicker. So, yeah, absolutely, they could be on a winner there.
Meantime, these guys, on their way to another win perhaps, they're stretching the legs of Maritimo once again. Ross Willerton and Travis Thompson. They won by nearly 40 seconds in the first race today and continue to pull away in race 2 of this year's championship finale.
Beautiful looking boat, isn't it? You can see Travis Thompson there just working hard on the wheel. This boat runs shaft drive, so a little bit different to the stern-driven boats, although we don't have any stern-driven boats out there at the moment, but it's got one big rudder down the centre. It's a hydraulic-operated rudder in the centre of the two tunnels, and that's what the guy piloting the boat or steering the boat is operating. So working very, very hard, but those boats need to maintain speed through the corner as well for the rudders to work, because 80% of the rudder is actually running in air, not water.
These guys are joined at the engine at the moment. These three still battling it out for class honours in a Supercat 600 class.
Yeah, it looked like we've got a bit of string between them at the moment, don't they? And old Jimmy Harris just casting a glance over onto his port side there, his left side, and you can just see the sponson of the 88 machine. So this is incredible racing, and Jimmy working overtime on the wheel, but certainly having a look around, just trying to make sure that they're in with the show here.
This is great. So if you were to stop the race right now, Team 88 would win by half a hull.
Absolutely. Fantastic racing, and let's just have a look at Maritimo, brought to you by the Crane Logistics, and a big jump there and a big hit. But again, this boat just so beautifully balanced, so well throttled, so well driven. It just jumps, it lands. That's what Offshore's all about.
It's Team 3 taking a big hit down here in the turns. That'll make your neck sore for a couple of days.
I reckon they might be leaving their kidneys in Harvey Bay just quietly after that one. That was a serious hit, wasn't it? But look at this battle. That's terrific. What a great shot too as well, Matty, as three boats, 600 horsepower category boats charge their way up the bay here at Harvey Bay. Beautiful day, beautiful conditions. We've got a big crowd on the beach here as well watching, so it's fantastic. Everyone's having a great time.
They're loving it right in front of us. Team 3, who's running third at the moment in the Supercat Extreme class, overtakes the class lead for Supercat 600, if you can keep up with what I'm saying.
What changes that offer, mate? The next shot we see, it'll be someone different again. So we're going to have to get our old mate Enzo at Enzo's coffee shop right next door to us to come and bring us a latte, I think, mate.
I think the boys Harris and Foles are discussing what's on tonight's menu at Hog's Breath at the moment.
I think you're probably right. So Ethel boys still on the outside. Michael and Griff, father and son combination, of course. And we have a couple of father-son combinations running out in the series at the moment. Of course, the Stellamitis boys, Con and Con, senior and junior. Look at that Hog's Breath just dropping to the outside there. They're trying for that wide line that we spoke about a little bit earlier on. Unfortunately for the Stellamitis boys, not running here today due to an engine getting full of water, as we saw earlier on in the shootout yesterday, and hydraulicking and braking a conrod. So disappointing for those guys.
So Hog's Breath, that was in the middle of this pack, has now gone back to its familiar outside line, just staying out the wash of Team 88 ahead here. We approach the halfway mark of the final race of this year's championship.
Yeah, Mick Walker and Paul Gibbs, they're on the inside. They're just running pin to pin and just trying to go the shortest line they can. This beautiful purple 25-foot shifty catamaran. They haven't done every round, they've only done a couple. Mick actually crashed his jet ski and broke his hip, so that left him out for a few rounds, unfortunately for him. So he's doing well to even be back out there and getting smashed around with a hip that's been completely rebuilt.
Yeah, better him than us.
Absolutely. That makes the commentary box look good, doesn't it?
It
really?
Does. Not comfier.
So Jimmy Harris still looking across. They're just nothing. Look at this. Absolutely throw a blanket over him at the moment. Hog's Breath, 88 and Phantom charging hard down the front chute, and this is as close to racing as you'll ever get.
It's almost like who doesn't want to lead Supercat 600 right now? There's been about 5 lead changes in the first half of this race alone.
Ethel boys just going a little bit out the back door there on that chute, so I don't know what's going on there, whether a little bit of an issue or something. They seem to lose quite a bit of ground just there. Maritimo now down into this turn number 2, which is the really gnarly one down at the bottom end of the course. Quite messy and sloppy, and they fire away, and the big number 11 and Ross Willett and Travis Thompson on board. They're just clinically dissecting the field at the moment, aren't they, Matty?
They look fairly strong. Unless anything mechanical goes wrong, they're going to be hard to beat here in race 2.
Tell you what, that carbon fibre dash looks like a bit of me too, just quietly. Very, very nice bit of gear indeed. Team 3 still in hot pursuit, running in third spot at the moment. Those 525 Merc Cruisers, as we've said a couple of times, this boat running upper class. It's out of the 1,000 horsepower category. So Stevie Jellick, Tom Barry Cotter doing a fantastic job. Steve Jellick on the throttles, as he has been for a few seasons now in this boat. He is the consummate professional. Tom Barry Cotter has just come back from Dubai and Abu Dhabi, where he's been racing X-Cats and only got in last night, and they're back in to get the job done in that Team 3 machine as we go on board with the Fryer boys.
Just gritting the tongue and teeth. Oh, just look at the buffeting that's going on.
Well, Chris wants to be careful. Everybody's tongue off one day.
Yeah, it hurts. Done it before, just not on the water.
Unbelievable. Hog's Breath now still trying to have a go here at the Phantom, the little purple Phantom machine. Now, Jim Harris and Paul Foles, they've got a bit of thinking to do here. They're in the bigger boat. It's probably a slightly quicker boat, but they are really thinking about that Oz 1 trophy. They need to bring the boat home, but they're racers at heart and they want to get the job done as well. So it's a real catch-22 for them at the moment.
Just need to stay ahead right now. They're looking good. It's Take Supercat 600 championship honours at the end of today. This is Yellow Brick Road, second position. Here's Team 3, appropriately in third position in Supercat Extreme. They're trying to chase down Maritimo, who are looking for another win this year in the championship and seal up. Oh, I had to breathe for a second now. I thought they were going over.
Oh, man. And this is this gnarly corner that we've been speaking about quite a few times. And they're really taking some hits because the water's just coming from all directions, really tricky to try and get over it. Do you think maybe Big Adam Gilbert might need to change the name of the boat to Team 1 so he can get into that P1 perhaps?
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a curse. I don't know. I'll let you have the chat.
Yeah, I'll be right. He's pretty big.
Send me in to do the work, of course.
Harrison Folds. Now, these guys are very, very experienced campaigners. The other thing about these guys is they've been running this one particular boat for quite a few seasons now, so they really understand how the boat performs. And here we go, Matty, bring it home, son.
So Maritimo, the margin was out to nearly 40 seconds, and they'll take their 7th win of the season here in the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship and become champions of 2015.
Oh, fantastic effort. Ross Willett and Travis Thompson. The boy band haircuts got him home, and they have done a beautiful job. And I tell you what, this has been the story of the year in terms of just getting better and better, and really great effort there. The Fryer boys, Yellow Brick Road, they've brought that boat home in second place. A great job.
These guys, Hog's Breath Cafe offshore. It's the pass for the lead on the final lap, so it's not over here. Look to the left-hand side.
Oh, look at this, Matty. It's down into the port, turn to the bottom end of this beautiful Harvey Bay course. Hog's Breath just trying to get it done. There's nothing in this now. You can see they've just got the one turn to go. The little purple Phantom machine with Paul Gibbs at the wheel there just will turn in on the inside. Mick Walker on the throttles. Can he get up the inside? I don't think he will, Matty.
And he's going to hold him back. Fantastic. That went race long the whole way, and these guys are going to get the job done. Fantastic effort.
Oh, terrific effort there, and that is going to be Oz 1 for Jim Harris, Paul Folds, and the first time since 1997 that a boat other than an open class boat wins the Oz 1 title. They are absolutely ecstatic, and so they should. Well, Jimmy's not quite sure where he is. He's haven't asked a question, but they are home, and it's done. And the Phantom home, second place. That's a great effort there from Mick Walker and Paul Gibbs in the beautiful 25 Victory Catamaran.
They weren't in championship contention, Phantom, but they certainly threw it to these guys who are your 2015 champs.
Well, we're definitely Oz 1 now, Phil.
He knows he's won now.
He's definitely Oz 1 now. That's exactly right. The FL boys, now here's a record. These are the only guys, the only boat to start and finish every single race in the series this year in the 2015 Offshore Superboat Championship. So what an amazing effort by Griffin and his crew.
And there is confirmation of your results in our big winning margin, collecting their 7th win. Maritimo ahead of Yellow Brick Road and Team 3. That's how they finished in this year's championship, thanks to Hunter Parking and Storage. Hog's Breath Offshore, the champs in the Supercat 600 class. Let's catch up with our winners.
The Fryer boys in Yellow Brick Road, they were always a worry. I know that they finished a little bit behind, but I'm telling you they were a worry. The water conditions were bumpy enough that we didn't want to go too hard and run the risk of breaking something, but they kept the pressure on. So no, Travis and me, we get it off good in the cockpit, so very happy.
The first race was a bit calm and we were happy with the setup, and then yeah, lucky we left it the way it was. We're a bit lighter in fuel, and that setup just really, it still went well out there. Maritimo just too good for us. Yeah, we wanted to finish strong, and I think that's what we did. You know, I think there's about 15 seconds between us, so yeah, they had it on us today, but we still tried sticking it in there and giving it to them.
Yeah, the wind was definitely up, and once we realised we couldn't catch the longer boats, yeah, we just sort of held back a little bit, and we waited for them to have any sort of problems, which didn't come. So, but yeah, still happy with the third place.
We're just over the moon. It hasn't sunk in yet. I'm sure it will in the next half an hour. Just getting the boat out of the water. It's going to be a great afternoon. The whole team just did a great job, you know, getting the boat time after time, and as I mentioned before, consistency. That's all you got to do.
Oh, look, we've got a great team of guys. We can't thank them enough. From even fuel leaking in the boat, we had to pump fuel at one tank in Coffs Harbour. Like, these guys have been amazing. That's what's got us home. There's reliability in our team.
Harvey Bay's a perfect place. Just that the northerly winds come in most of the time, and that makes it a very choppy little bay, but it's still a gorgeous place to race and friendly people.
We had a good crack today. Unfortunately, conditions did blow up and they were quite nasty, but we survived and brought home some more points to end off the year, which is great.
Let's have a look at the final points tally. Maritimo, the 2015 champions, back to Yellow Brick Road. Team 3, 222 Offshore, Trade You Later, and the Maslin Electrical. In Supercat 1000, Team 3 takes a win over Global Racing for Hunter Parking and Storage. In Supercat 600, in first place with the Oz 1 trophy as well, Hog's Breath Offshore back to 88 Offshore Racing. Then the SUV Ram Trucks Junior, and About Time. Then we had the Oz 1, and it is Hog's Breath Offshore, Team 3, Maritimo 88, Yellow Brick Road SUV 222, and Ram Trucks Junior for Hunter Parking and Storage.
Amazing year. Hard to believe it's the end of another season, the 2015 Australian Offshore Superboat Championship. Big shout out and thanks to the Harvey Bay Boat Club and the Fraser Coast Council for making this weekend happen. To Dave Bishop, I'm Matt Nolte. We'll see you in 2016.